Aloha! This is Trinidad the Islandman, your Islandman, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And I'm not currently talking about a movie as much so as a Netflix show that dropped a couple of weeks ago called Terminator Zero. And again, this is Netflix, half an hour shows, about 8 episodes. And I have to say, overall, remember our rating scale, shaka thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shaka thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for Terminator Zero, the animated series on Netflix, only has 1 season so far, but it could have more. It is overall a shaka thumbs up. Now, this is by IG Productions doing the animation, the same production group that had done Blue-Eyed Samurai. Although you probably wouldn't notice it as it is a lot more, it feels a lot more old school in the way that the animation style is. Very much more 80s style, I felt. More like an Akira than the sleek Blue-Eyed Samurai version, or what, that we had seen from IG Productions earlier, which kind of mimicked Samurai Champloo in a way, and that overall kind of stylized animation style currently that we've seen. So this goes back old school. And again, I have to say, it is a shaka thumbs up. Essentially what we are getting about a 2-hour movie, like I said, 8 hours, well, maybe a 4-hour movie overall, because it's 8 episodes, 30 minutes each. And what we have is a combination of, I'd say, Terminator 1, followed by Terminator Salvation, and even mixed in a little bit with Dark Fate. Overall, as far as the style goes. Now, I would say that I enjoyed this. The emphasis is, of course, on the very first Terminator kind of movie. We have a T-100 or T-102, it might be called in this series. Skynet has sent a Terminator back in time to kill not Sarah OConnor this time, not her son, not anyone that we're familiar with, but another individual. This is why it's kind of like Dark Fate, as another scientist that, spoilers, we find out is an escapee from the future who traveled back in time, again with the hopes of preventing the apocalypse, Skynet's launching of nuclear missiles at the human race and taking over the world. But he does so by not trying to save or rescue Sarah OConnor, but simply by trying to create another AI that will combat Skynet in general. And thus we have that conflict there, that kind of new angle, which is what I think Terminator Dark Fate probably should have went in that direction, instead of trying to simply go about and erasing the whole Sarah Connor and John Connor mythos. So this new AI that is developed in hopes of combating Skynet and taking them out, or at least preventing the apocalypse, is centered in Japan. Already during about the same time frame as the original Terminator movies, 1 and 2. So we get the T-100 going back to kill this scientist that develops this new AI that attempts to stop Skynet. Thus, Skynet would not have any problems with their conquest of the human race. But as we see throughout this series, what happens is it's not as cut and dry as that. The new AI, mirroring a lot of real life situations and fears currently with AI, there is a chance that this new AI will be just as bad or not worse than Skynet. And so it is up to the inventor, before he brings it online, to attempt to teach it human morality. Almost a, code of robotics per se. And give it its own free will in determining its own motivations to help humanity. But in giving it that free will, it unfortunately has the chance to go evil like Skynet did. So it is a very interesting show. There are some, plot hooks that I won't mention that I did see right away, but that's only because I'm a fan of science fiction. Perhaps, another viewer may not see these until the twist comes around. But for me, right when certain characters are introduced, I know what's going to happen with this character. I know that this character is going to be like this. There was a little twist, again, kind of a Kyle Reese going back in time, kind of a scenario that takes place with the future soldier that comes back to fight the Terminator to try to save the scientist. But even their goal is not to save the scientist, but more so to stop him from bringing on this new AI online. As in her future, apparently, it seems that, it did choose the darker path. And will it choose again in this current time stream that we know of? I leave that to you to go ahead and watch those 8 episodes. But again, I found it very enjoyable. Again, a lot of people are saying this is the best Terminator show or, quote, movie since the first 2 movies, the first 2 Terminators, and I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I enjoyed Dark Fate. I would have enjoyed it more had they not been so clumsy with the plot. And this one, this animated series, fleshes that out so much better that I wish Dark Fate had followed a similar path, at least with the explanation. And then Dark Fate would have been easier for fans to swallow than, why is it messing around with John Connor and Sarah Connor and undoing what the first 2 movies did, which was the problem that a lot of fans had with Dark Fate. In this one, that's entirely avoided by not focusing on John Connor, not focusing on Skynet directly, but focusing on this new character that creates this new AI that may or may not be, to man's benefit, or an equal, if not worse, than Skynet. All right. Mahalo and aloha.